Welcome back. Today we are touring and releasing 3 BF 109s. Let's get started! So we are going to start off with the BF 109B, which is an older variant of the BF 109. And what happened here is, if you see, it looks like there's two of them. So the one on the right is the original BF 109B I built for the 3D import tutorial. Unfortunately, I didn't really check the size of the wingspan, and I forgot, and I just kind of like started working on the model that I imported. And so it's slightly larger than scale. If you can see, the one on the left is more to scale size. So yeah, my mistake. So I went ahead and rebuilt it again when I was actually building the BF109E and the BF109F. So now we have two, a bigger version and a more scale version. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the F, I think. Do I want to get to the F? No, let's get to the E.
Go E!
So here we have the BF109E 3D model imported, and it gives us lots of hints on where things are. And the biggest difference between the E and the B model is, if we zoom in right to the side here, we see there is an intake right there. On the B model, let's go to it. You'll see that the intake is right there on the top here. And here, over here, it is right here. I think that's an intake. It might be something else, but I call it an intake because it looks like it takes air in. So there is that. And so what we did is we moved it to the side. So this actually should be more of a angle, like as if we had a wedge block with stripes on it. That would look better, but we don't have a wedge block that you can paint. Yeah, I know, whatever. Another small feature that we don't have, along with double-sided paint blocks. So now that I got that on my system, let's get to the F model. Okay, so here we have the 3D model imported of the F model, which is basically the same as the E and the B. It's just the intake is different again. Let's look at it. There is the intake. It's got a rounded off tip, but we don't have that. So I just kind of did the generators, I guess, or is that motors? I don't remember what those are. This is the tropical version, which is a yellow nose with a brown African paint scheme. This also has some cannons on the bottom that I've added. Actually, the E, I think, most likely had those cannons, but just to have a little fun, it is on this version. So they did have it in the war, but not usually the tropical version. So, oh well.
I can do what I want. It's my plane.
So there it is. So I guess with that out of the way, we should probably go ahead and test fly these and make sure we find some of the bugs that I know that I probably have because I forgot to hook up something. So let's clear this out. We are starting with the BF109B. And if you notice, I don't have handles. I don't like handles. So we have this little tip here that we can just jump on. And there you go. You're right in there. All right, we're going to get in the pilot seat. And this still has to be replaced on the Spitfire and all those. I haven't had time to jerk with that. So it still has the ugly interface for that radio. So what we're going to do is go ahead and turn on our inverters. Boop. You can turn on the generators. Boop. So after you have the inverter on and you have the generator on, we simply give it a little throttle and turn on the engine starter. There we go. All right, now it's going to start to roll, and I don't have this in minus throttle, but we could probably add that. But right now we're just going to go ahead and taxi out slowly. And I did cheat on these planes. Usually you're supposed to turn with the 5 and 6, so if I hit number 5, it puts on the wheel brake. But because in Stormworks these wheels are so close together on the bottom of the plane, it doesn't really turn well unless you throttle up. So I did cheat. You can use the arrow keys, and you can just turn left. And there you go. That's it. Okay, what else do we have? Well, we have nav lights, and we have landing lights. Let's make sure those are all working. Yes, so far so good. We hooked up everything. Okay, and what else do we have? Canopy. Canopy closes. Yay for me. And so far so good. Whoa, where am I going? So you notice we have wing slats on the front there. It's the popped out version right here. And the popped out version there of blocks. And what these were used for on the 109 is to help with stalling at low speeds. So they come out between, I think, 10 and 50 miles per hour. At least on this model. I don't know if the actual one did that. I can't remember if I researched that or not. I probably did, but I don't recall what the speeds were. I don't think that was specified. But anyways, for me it's 10 to 50 miles per hour. So once you get a little bit faster, it will close up. Next up we have flaps, and I need to remember where I put the flaps. Where did I put the flaps? Did I put the flaps on? Oh, it's not marked. I think it's on the seat, right? Let's see. Let's go for number 3. There we go. Okay, so I need to mark it. So there's the flaps. And the flaps are not control surfaces. They are just wedges. So they shouldn't interfere if you put them down. They should be more for looks, not so much aerodynamics. So they won't kind of mess you up and dive into the ground or anything like that. What else? I think that's pretty much it. We have the mic on, mic off, which I don't have an indicator on the cockpit. I ran out of room, so I might have to resolve that later. And I think that is it. I think we're good to go. Let's go ahead and see if we can take off, and then we can trim it, make sure it's all trimmed, and we can go ahead and release this on the workshop. All right, here we go. Let's turn up, or turn, not turn up, turn, and let's go ahead and give it a little throttle. Okay, so I'm going slowly, and we should go ahead and get a nice speed. Tail lifts up. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and put those flaps up. Oh, they actually did matter a little bit on the wing. Okay, so now that we got that going, let's go ahead and put up our landing gear. Alright, so after we have that, we can trim it. I do need to adjust the, what do you call it, the roll. The roll seems a little bit extreme sometimes, but for the most part, it's a pretty decent plane. Alright, so the pitch looks pretty good actually. It's at 0? Oh, it's at 0.3. Okay, so this must have been already trimmed. I could probably trim it. It's going down, I think. So let's trim it a little bit more. Is that looking good? Let's see. There you go. I mean, I could add a gyro to stop the roll. It does tend to roll a bit, but I really don't like gyros. But it's looking pretty good, and we're at 1.1. It's looking good. Let's get to the next plane. Alright, next up we have the BF-109E4. Did I forget to paint that right there? Nope, I didn't. Okay, cool. And what we have here is the same, I think, wing, right? Yes. So this wing, you jump up on the corner, and you're up and into the cockpit. This should have all the same controls, working exactly the same way, because I use the same parts. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that on and to start. Let's make sure all our lights work. Lights are on. Lovely. Okay, and then we can go ahead and shut the canopy. Throttle up our pitch if we want. I was like 45 is a good number, I think. Let's see. Alright. Whoa, there we go. Alright. So everything's working good there. Let's go ahead and put the landing gear up. Probably need to invert that light. So up is green, or down is green, not the other way around. Alright, so here we go. We've got it going. And I've already trimmed it to the other plane, which is a 0.1 pitch. And there we go. I wonder if this is easier to fly with a joystick. I haven't used a joystick yet, but I feel like it might be kind of fun just to try to fly it. Because, you know, with a joystick you could pull up and kind of bank to the left. Oh, or stall like I just did. And so it might be really fun. So anyways, this is the BF-109. Whoa! F4. It will roll pretty easily. So, whoa, calm down. And there we go. Alright, one more plane to go. So this is our last plane, the BF-109 F2 Tropical. And the difference between this one is, of course, it has the cannons on it, and it also has the intake in a different shape and form. Also, the biggest change with this plane from in real life was that the nose was kind of a larger, rounder spinner in the front, which we can't really duplicate and make it look good here. So I did alter the nose a bit. So it's a little bit more, I don't know what you want to call it, like aerodynamic in a way compared to the other one. But you'll have to like bring them both out. You can check them out. I'll actually show all 3 planes at the end of this video. But to give you an idea of what the difference is, the BF-109F was kind of a refined version of the BF-109E. So there you go. So everything looks pretty good. Also, this wheel should actually go up in, but I don't have enough room, so it doesn't. But that was something that was different from the BF-109F as well. So on this plane, I have a slightly different wing configuration. You'll also notice that the wing configuration down here is different on the other planes. That's just because I had to put the cannons and the intakes down here were slightly different. And I think that's it. So I don't know. I call everything intake. That's an intake. That's an intake. I don't know. Maybe one's a carburetor. Who knows? But I don't. So the way you jump on this plane is there's no edge to jump on. So I had to do the evil thing and add a handle. So you just jump on here, boop, blue, and you're in the plane. Looks like we need a little paint job here, so we'll do that before we upload the plane. But I think everything else is working. Let's go ahead and get on the inverters. Oh, we don't have that hooked up, so that is something I need to fix before we upload. And we'll just grab a little fuel there and turn it on. All right, let's see. I did label number 3 here, so that's number 3. There we go. Flaps are down. Good, good. All right, so we got off the ground about 47 maybe. Now let's prop that pitch that prop, whatever, you know what I mean. And let's go up, and there we go. So that's kind of a cheaty takeoff. Let's make sure that the landing gear work. And where's my canopy? Landing lights, nav lights. Everything should be on, and it is. All right, cool. All right, let's see if the flaps matter. I'm gonna kind of bounce it out here, and let's put up the flaps. Does the plane move? No, it didn't really do much. So that is it for today. The 3 of these planes is down in the description if you want to download these and fly them, and you can find them on the workshop. So that is it. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't done so already, hit the bell so it goes ding dong when I upload a video, and if you have subscribed, please consider doing so, and I'll see you next time. Bye!